All right, first of all, I'll pop this in the chat just to answer Dan's question. What if there was a Roger Rabbit type movie with anime characters? Dude, I'd be here all day trying to think of scenarios for that. So,
Like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm like the same way if they're ever gonna do a Space Jam 2 and it's Michael B. Jordan anime characters.
you're all over that.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to let Philip J. Fry help me out what I'm thinking. Hold up.
I think I know what he's going to do.
Me too.
You're
I hear
in
it. Yeah, here we go. Hold on.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
oh, dude, you have to look at this fan poster because someone. You have to look at this fan poster because someone pretty much did exactly what we just talked about right now.
I think I know what he's talking about. I think I've seen this.
I'm sharing it on. I'm sharing it on the Google Hangouts. I'm going to share it with as well. I love the pun.
Let's see.
That's brilliant.
Another
my God.
Another mystery. Another Toontown. A brand new story of East meets Pest.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be posting that picture there for later. All right. I'll count us in for Maniara. And Maniara, if you're listening, hun, you are amazing. And Kaiju will be saying the same thing after this. In 3, 2, 1, get ready to be wild. Play.
You had plenty of money, 1922. You let other women make a fool of you. Why don't you do right like some other men do?
It's worth noting.
Hello, Jessica.
It's worth noting she's doing this in her car.
Wow.
Give me some money too.
Seriously, every time I see Jessica Rabbit, I turn into the wolf from the Tex Avery cartoon.
I'm with you there, Liz.
Again, her proportions don't make sense, but I don't care.
Yeah. He's like, your point is?
Put you out, why don't you do right?
Whoa. And
Like some other man.
this woman is talented.
Very.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She can definitely hold those notes.
Yeah.
Marvin Acme.
Give me some money too. Now if you had prepared 20 years ago, you wouldn't be wandering now from door to door. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Get out of here, give me some money too.
It's amazing where you can get good acoustics in.
Absolutely.
Get out of here, give me some money too.
You gotta love Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, and he had to react to basically nothing there. I'm like, that's a talented actor right
Very.
I can imagine him going into like Mario mode. What is this?
His face.
there. Whoa.
He's like, goddamn, son.
Frank. That's my exact reaction too, man. It's okay.
Wow.
That's
Very,
definitely
very.
performance.
That last note though was very mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what? On the subject of Roger Rabbit, I've always wondered. Well, I've always been curious as to why they never got around to making like a sequel or prequel or any sort of like follow up to this series, because I feel like there's a lot you can do with the Toontown universe. And it's very interesting to look through the development history of Roger Rabbit 2 and looking at all the different how would you say, all the different attempts at making Roger Rabbit 2 and all the different rejected stories that have been passed around throughout the offices at Disney. And in fact, the one of the biggest ideas I always had for a Roger Rabbit sequel was, what if you had like a sequel where, I remember there was this short line that Betty Boop had in the movie where she was struggling to find work because colored cartoon animated characters were starting to be the thing now, while black and white characters were struggling. I thought, what if you had like a thing where 2D animated characters were going through just that, while CG characters were becoming a thing? And I'm thinking, oh, that would be like very ambitious to try to do like CG and 2D characters while having some sort of commentary on the state of animation today.
Well, that'd be good.
Well, from what I understand, that from interviews that Robert Zemeckis has said over the years, is that he has had quite a few different variations of a script that he's ready to go there with, because he would have had the movie take place in the 1950s, where Eddie Valiant would be there in the story, but as more of a ghost character. And I think, considering what has happened with Bob Hoskins, sadly, you would have to find a very inventive way of having his character play some kind of part in the movie. The major reason why the movie's not happening is because Disney do not like Jessica Rabbit.
I do remember, like, I think one of the last times they used Jessica Rabbit to some degree was, I think it was in Disney World. What was his name? The guy who... Michael Eisner. Michael Eisner used to be the head of Disney during like the 80s and 90s. And he actually set up a Disney nightclub called Pleasure Island in somewhere around near Disney World. And Jessica Rabbit was kind of like appropriately the kind of like the mascot of Pleasure Island. And after Michael Eisner went away and he was replaced by another person, they said, this one's not so family friendly. So they took down retired Pleasure Island, but first getting rid of the Jessica Rabbit as the icon, as the mascot, I mean.
You could somewhat argue today Jessica Rabbit's not really appropriate. Here's the thing. The way she was represented in the first movie, that was the norm in the 1940s.
Yeah.
If they were doing how Jessica Rabbit would be presented today, yes, there would be subtle changes, but if you're going to have a movie that's set in the 1950s, you have to be era authentic. You can't just say, oh, we have to put these new rules in place. No, because if you're going to be historically accurate, you've got to be that way. It's like whenever people say, oh, we have to change this to suit demographics of today. I'm like, well, no, you can't do that. There is a real static going on in the background. Kaiju, you sure it's not your you did say aircon off.
Let's see. Hey, I turned my air conditioning off. I'm trying to move I'm thinking maybe it could be the fan in my laptop. So I'm like moving my laptop away from my microphone.
Yeah. I was testing my mic, turning it off for a second. It's like, is it me? It's like, nope.
See, I'm going to see if I can unplug my microphone and see what happens. If I sound weird, just let me know.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, it's definitely gone a lot more silent.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the fan.
Yeah.
Because I've not heard anything coming from you or Raiden, Lids. But then again,
see.
oh, that's much better. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in a similar context. And I've said this quite a few times whenever I've covered Back to the Future down the years, particularly the first time in 2010 when we covered the 25th anniversary. When Lou says the line, a colored mare, that will be the day. If you said that today, you would get crucified. But in 1955, it's not right, but it was, I suppose, socially accepted, for lack of a better description, because that's something that people would have said back in the day. But again, today you go and say something like that, it's like, oh, be prepared to take an ass whooping. Because there's just there's just certain things you don't say today. But back then, you could get away with it. I don't advise it, but you could get away with it. I mean, it's like when you have the face-off between Marvin Berry and the Starlighters and Biff's gang, and they exchange some unpleasantries. I think Random's expression says it best when he was doing his reaction review. It goes, oh, fighting racism with racism. I can't add anything to this that hasn't been said already. I'm keeping out of this. I'm like, oh, wise idea, bro. Because again, there's just some places that, hey, don't go there. Just no. Just no. But again, a Roger Rabbit 2, even Charles Fleischer still wants to do the sequel because him and Bob Hoskins made that movie. They were the heart and soul of that movie. Yeah, it is more through Eddie's eyes for what you see throughout the movie, but Roger, if Eddie is the mind of it, Roger's the soul of it. And, he's a complete goofball. It's not someone that you would have as a trustworthy partner, but it's Roger. You love him. He's just a likable guy. Although I find it interesting, I mean, when I first saw the movie in the early 90s, when it was on public TV over here in the UK, around like, I don't know, 9 or 10 years young, I didn't make too much of the whole patty cake thing. It kind of flew over my head.
Same here.
I watched it like 2 weeks ago. It's like, you're losing your shit over another man playing patty cake with your wife. Dude, you've got some major priority issues there.
I think when we're kids, a lot of humor kind of goes over our heads, and then when we're adults, we watch it, it's like, what the hell?
Like,
well,
Yeah.
oh.
Again, it's like that line from the first Ghostbusters movie. Oh, that's the bedroom, but nothing ever happened in there. What a crime! When you're like 18, you're like, oh. And it's like that was in a. Well, it's not a kids movie, but it's at a level where kids can go see it, provided there's a parent with them. But then again, it's Peter Venkman just being Peter Venkman. I mean, what were you expecting? He's an ass, but he's a lovable ass. He's kind of like Tony Stark, but without the money.